This is a challenge. I want to challenge y'all with something. Challenge is just to add something to it. Challenge. I like that. I had a homeboy that always say, "Don't take nothing away from it. Just add to it." You know what I mean? You don't have to take nothing away. Just add to it. And that's simply all you have to do is add to it. First off, we have to get rid of the rules. The rules that's been placed on this thing. Those rules is what keeps us away from God, away from living a better life, living a Christian life, or a life to be proud of. These are the rules. These rules that we put on things like can't talk. Don't talk to God while getting high. Women can't preach. Sin can't be around God. So which means we can't be around God. Your work is like filthy rags. So no matter what you do, it's still filthy to God. Man, I don't know where these rules come from, but I guess at some point, once they started, they just started piling up. Now I do know a lot of rules come from self. Whoever's teaching this, they put rules on things like women shouldn't wear certain types of clothing because it's appealing and all this. You know what I mean? And then we stick to those rules. You know, if those rules are laws from the Old Testament before Jesus came, then you're living by the laws. So you have to live by all those laws, and the stuff in there that that's physically impossible for us. It's not even possible for us to even do it where we're located. It's what we call that locationally impossible. So due to certain things that we have and don't have, you know what I mean? So I still think it's very dangerous to live by law because it says it itself, and I think it's Romans. But we've trickled those rules down, and we've made this thing so hard that people think it's either a waste of time, or not worth their time, or so far away that it can't be obtained. You know what I mean? And we put a wall around this thing, partially to protect money. You know what I mean? To protect hierarchy. I mean, it's just so crazy, man. It's just so crazy. If you take something and put it inside a building, what it does, or if you take something and put it inside a room and let it teach itself, or let it think to itself, you know what I mean? Over and over. I mean, without no type of training or learning, it changes the whole dynamics of this whole thing, man, and it makes it so hard to reach. And let's look at this. I know God is he created this world, right? So if he created this world, man's mistakes don't work. We have to stop mixing what we think would happen when it comes to something that's about God. God, us putting him in a box. We put him in a box and try to put rules and limitations on him. If God is doing something, it's not going to be a mistake out of it. He's not going to create a mistake out of something. If he's making something, everything would be perfect. So if God is doing something, we have to stop thinking about it something that we're doing or not doing to mess it up. It's going to be perfect regardless of what you do, whether you in it or not. It's going to be exactly what God wanted it to be. You know what I mean? So he enjoys creating it to watch, while he watches man try to figure it out and try to change it or try to make it like he wanted. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, it's like a kid, a baby. Let's say, baby, you're an adult, and you fix your child. You're doing something for your child, and your child wants to help you. He get in there and he get to messing with it. You know what I mean? It looks nothing like, daddy, can I help you? You get in there and mess it up. You know what I mean? But oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Now you gotta fix it back. You know what I mean? That's kind of what we do. But the thing is, we are adults. We should be. We're smarter than. Yeah, it's babies. We were babies when we first started doing something. But if we're doing it over and over and over again, we shouldn't be messing it up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, either we gonna get it right once we start doing this thing, or either we're not. If we're not, then we might have a problem, and we need to go get checked out. You know, somebody need to go. Let's go see what's wrong with this kid's head, man, because he keep messing up. He keeps doing it now. He done made it a rule where he wants to help, and he's taking and he's putting it like that anyway. Now I done told him, boy, don't do that like that, or daughter, don't do that like that, and they do it. They turn around and do it anyway. Something must be wrong here. You know what I'm saying? Something might be wrong with the head. We might want to go get him checked out. And the whole time, the baby think he's doing it right, and so he's mad at daddy because daddy then changed it back away from where he thought it was, and he's mad at him, and he's gonna mess it back up and change it back right. You know what I mean? Hey, something wrong with that. I mean, that's where we go get our children help with disciplinary problems, right? So what God does, he fixes them, and we help him. He let us help. In the beginning, he lets us help him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we messing up, but he gonna fix it back right. He gonna get it right. He'll fix it back. But over time, when you start trying to tell your daddy that, hey, this is how it's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? You fixing it like this, Dad, but it's supposed to be like this. You know what I'm saying? And you going in there, you getting mad at him, you trying to, no, man, that's not how it go down, man. You know what I'm saying? I might be overstepping it, it might be going over some of y'all's head with this thing, but I'm trying to set an example of how we should look up to God. We should honor him. We don't make the rules, he make the rules. You know what I'm saying? And what rules did he give us? Love God and love others. Them are the rules he gave us. So all these other rules that we keep adding in or have added in over time has completely changed the whole dynamics of this preaching the gospel. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. It's simple. Teach one. I guess I go teach one each one, right? Tell somebody about Jesus and let them tell other people. You know what I mean? You see they doing something wrong down the line? Take them, steer them in that direction. Hey, look, guys, you remember this, and it's still lift up, build up, cheer up. You don't go in and say, hey, y'all got to stop doing this because you're going to hell. No, man. No. Who says that? Okay, anyway, if you take them and you steer them back on the right path. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, you know what I'm saying? This is how this thing's supposed to go. Remember, it was like this, man. So we got to make sure we stay in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Then we step out the way because God is going to make sure there ain't no mistakes in that thing. You know what I mean? As long as they're keeping him in there. As long as they're keeping God added to it. You know what I mean? It's not about changing things at first. It's about adding God to it and letting God change this thing. You know what I'm saying? One thing I know, I've always, but once I started finding out about sonship, and maybe a little bit before then, but I made it a challenge to make sure I talked about God in everything in everything I did. You know what I mean? Whether I was getting high, whether I was drinking, whether I was doing whatever, I made sure I brought God up. You know what I mean? People would get mad and say, no, you don't bring God up. Who said, where'd that come from? Who said that? Who said we shouldn't do that? You know what I mean? One rule, there it go. And it takes off, and it's like, that was where because I'm thinking, look, man, people tell me I can't do something. This is what I'm gonna do, and I'm glad God showed me it was that thing that I one of the things that I continue to do. No, I'm not gonna take God out of this thing. I'm gonna add him. I'm gonna keep him added. So if you come around me and we drinking, smoking, getting high, whatever, you're gonna hear me bring up God in this thing. You know what I'm saying? It became part of my conversation. You know what I mean? So that's what we're saying. Add God to it. Don't be ashamed either. You know what I mean? Don't be ashamed to be a Bible thumper or a Jesus pusher. Here's the thing. I don't consider myself a Bible thumper or a Jesus pusher. Somebody pushes Jesus on people. What God has given me to give is life. So, in life life starts out with an approach of love. You know what I mean? You don't just go out. It's like Bible thumping and Jesus pushing. The element that's missing out of it is love. You know what I mean? That's the beginning element, because it seems when you think of Bible thumpers or Jesus pusher, the image that I get in my mind is anger. I get this sense of anger, hostility. That's the word I'm looking for. Love don't have hostility in it. So love shouldn't have. That is the key word right there that people need to look at. And then people need to look at. I'm talking all. Love. If God is love, everything that love look like and the dynamics of it and what it's built on, that is what this whole thing should be built on. Love thy neighbor and love thyself. He even said it there. Love. Whatever love looks like, that's what it's built around. Tough love, okay? Let's go with tough love then. Okay, what is tough love? It's not telling somebody something they shouldn't do. Tough love is loving somebody in what they do, but making it difficult for them to do it. That was real good. Let me say that again. Tough love is loving somebody while they're doing what they do, but making it difficult for them to do it. That's tough love. That's not what we do when we go to the gays and say, "You going to hell, you shouldn't be doing this." And the Bible says it right. That is not tough love. Tough love is loving them while they do what they do and making it difficult for them to do it. Simple as that. Tough love. Look at that. Look at the definition. Look at what it's saying. Tough love. Something that's tough means what? If you put it into action, when you're doing something when you're working on something that's tough, what does it say you do? Oh man, this ain't easy, right? Love. You still love them, right? In what they do. It didn't say change, stop them from doing what they're doing. That's not. Love don't mean stop. Think, man, y'all, man. Think. The words are there. Put them together. It's just simple. You don't even have to look them up. Just know, if you know what love looks like and you know what tough looks like, put it together. Tough love. It didn't say. Oh man. Rules. First off, let's get rid of the rules, because there's no rules in this Jesus thing. Not from man. Jesus, God makes the rules. We don't make the rules. First off, this is what you do. Everything in that cup, everything you got in your cup, dump it out. Get rid of all that mess. Dump it completely out. Now you got an empty cup, right? Start over. Start filling your cup with God. How to do that? You take all the mistakes that was in here. Think about them now. All the things that's been wrong. And if you don't know anything that's wrong that you've been taught wrong, you want me to tell you where to find it? In there. In your spirit. Inside of you. The stuff that you fight against to say, well, this don't feel right, but the pastor say do it anyway. Do it. So this is what I'm gonna do. Wrong. First mistake. First mistake, and this is on everything. Putting a man or a woman, putting somebody over your feelings, how you feel over something that you know ain't right. That's the first mistake. Now that starting point right there separates the people that need mental help from the people that don't need mental help. See, that's how deep this thing is, and that's how dangerous this thing is. First, you're putting somebody over you to tell you how to do things, something that you know that it feels wrong inside of you, correct? People that don't need mental help know there's something wrong with this picture. Something wrong here. People that do need mental help don't see that. They don't have the ability to see that. They're not capable of seeing that. But it don't stop there. because we talking about God now. God don't, he don't make mistakes, correct? So even for the people that has a mental disability, even they are very much capable with God telling them, hey, something's wrong here, right? So that's still not even an excuse to be fooled or to be put on the wrong path. Okay. So that's the first thing. Now remember, this is a first step that don't have no mistakes. Now it can easily be turned around because it's not us that's turning this thing. It's God. It's God. This is God's thing. So now, if this is where the problem. Now look, now you got the person with the mental help that needs mental help, and the person that don't need mental help. Now, the person that don't need mental help will say, okay, this feeling in here, but I'm not going with it. I'm going to listen to this person. I'm going to shut my feelings down when something inside of me is telling me that this ain't right. I'm going to shut this down and listen to him because they know what they talking about. Is that the real reason why you're doing it? But we ain't got there yet. Okay. Okay, I'm going to shut this down because they know what they're talking about. Now, see what you just did to yourself. Now, remember, the person with the mental disability got it. They're not going to they're going to listen to their feeling on the inside. Now, the person that don't need mental help, what are they doing? They're going to listen to this person. They're already one step ahead of you. Because you shut your feelings down, where God is trying to operate the same way in you as He's trying to operate, that He operating is with the person with the mental help. So, that needs the mental help. Now, the person that needs the mental help got it. They're telling themselves, man, hey, this don't feel right. I don't like this. You see what I'm saying? Something's wrong. Now you telling yourself, nah, I'm going to listen to this person. You've already put yourself on a path of needing mental help. Now, they're number one now. Now you number two. Now you behind them. If we're talking hierarchy, since we want to be smart, let's be smart. Let's be smart. Now you want step number two. Because remember, it's not about you. It's God that's controlling this thing. So what you're doing is you shutting God down when they're not mentally capable to shut God down. But we look at them like, But they're ahead of you. And you're going to try to tell them or talk about them or treat them some kind of way when they should be treating you a certain kind of way. See, this is where love jumps into this. They're not capable of treating you a certain kind of way like that. You know what I mean? Because all they know is love, right? All they know is the Father. But you, on the other hand, think you got it going on and think you know what you're doing and think you the however you want to say it, HNIC or the ish or whatever, and you go on about your day, but you already a step behind starting this thing because you want to do something, you want to shut your feelings down and listen to somebody else. Okay, that, and then you don't control, you let that be your guide. Get rid of all that mess. Get rid of that mess. Dump that mess out. If it don't feel right, second thing you do is pick the book up and read it for yourself. Because all of us, I guarantee you, the majority of us, that's a follower of a follower, have a feeling inside that something's wrong about something. There's something on this don't look right. Something ain't right about this. But they know because they went to school for it. Stop all that mess. Stop all that mess, man. No. Remember when you got in this thing, something was appealing to make you get into this thing. Nobody pulled your arm or twisted your arm to make you get into it. Something talked to you and told you something made this look so good that you want to get in this. Unless you was forced in there as a child. But if you forced in a child, then you really don't have no excuse then because you've been in a long time and the Spirit and had plenty of time to talk to you and tell you what's wrong and what ain't wrong. Okay, here's the thing. We put these rules, start putting these rules on this thing. And but we're gonna shut it down. Here we go. We're gonna shut it down and say, well, they know what they're talking about because they this and they that. That is the biggest setup for failure right there, by putting another man over another man, because if we all made equal. Now remember, I'm sure we've heard this in the Bible. Don't judge, and we all created equal or whatever as we growing up. Okay, you look into that stuff and see if that stuff holds any facts. You know what I'm saying? That's whole truth. Don't you want what you say to be true? Why you talking on Facebook about some stuff that you don't know what you're talking about? You just talking, random talking. Heck, half of us don't even know what Republicans and Democrats really are about. But we talking a bunch of stuff, man. I mean, we get on there and we just really think we are. No. That's called gossiping. That should be called The Place to Gossip. I mean, that's what they mean by Facebook, because your face is open, gossiping. That's the place to do that at. We want to shut down the other side. Shut that thing down, or shut the people down that's on there, man, because gossiping, man. Let's go to the gossip book. See what we gossiping about. But you know what I'm saying? Satan got to have a book too. You know what I'm saying? We got the book of life. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my daddy always said the empty wagon make the most noise. Boy, start learning for yourself. Pick the Bible up. Read it. My ex-wife said it best. She told me best, and I still use this. I still use this analogy. Let's say that I died, but before I died, I wrote this book. Everything in this book is exactly it covers everything that would make my daughter and son's life perfect. Everything that would get them to a higher level. All the stuff that they didn't want to do, all the stuff to avoid, all the stuff that they could do to better their life. Everything was in this book. And I died, left them this book, and then just imagine they never read it. How would that make me feel? And when she said that, I was like, man, it just blew my mind. I was thinking, man, golly, that would hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's what God has done. That's what God has done with us. He gave us a book with the rules in it to do the stuff we can do to make our life better, the stuff to avoid. Right? He gave us a book, and we never pick it up and read it for ourselves, but we let somebody else read it, and we go every week for them to interpret a book, the book that I wrote for my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Or son. I write them a book, and somebody else read. They go every week to get somebody else to read it for them. Why would they do that? They can't read? Oh yeah, they can read. What the hell's going on? That'd be even worse. I just thought about it. That'd be even worse. So they're getting somebody else to read the book that I wrote for them. You know what I mean? And still ain't doing it right because they let that person read it to them. So I'm extra hurt. That's 3 times as hurt. 2 times as hurt right there, man. I'm like, golly. Man, they smart, very intelligent, read for themselves, but yet and still, they go for somebody else to read it for them. And they ain't doing it right. And they ain't teaching it right. They ain't teaching the way I wrote it. That's not what they say. That's not where they getting this stuff from. Where they come from? Who was it? What? Who put these rules? Them are the rules in that book that I wrote. That's why I wrote the book, so they wouldn't have to go through this stuff. That stuff, I know Satan well. That stuff implements it right back into there. Satan done got twisting around, and then they, oh man, they done changed the book. That ain't how I wrote it. That's not what it says. It's simple. And they are letting them add rules in it that's not in there, and they're trying to do it. That was the whole reason why I wrote the book. What? Simple as that. One rule I really want to show y'all, man, that I just seen this morning, God revealed to me this morning, that we have in the churches. And it's so crazy, man. It's like, I seen it. I mean, so many of them, it would frustrate me in the beginning when I start seeing this stuff. I'm going to tell you what I went by. Real talk. Inside, God was telling me, that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? My spirit was telling me, that ain't right. That's not right. Something's wrong with that. Look it up for yourself. And it's just, I felt it. I felt like, what? That don't line up with love. That don't line up with how I should feel. That, what? Really, real talk, man. God, and that's how God operates. He operates in us. He makes the rules. Man don't make the rules. Stop depending on man's rules to get you by. And you failing at it. Stop, man. That is the definition of insanity. To continue to do the same things and expecting different results. But you still, I want to pray. No, if something ain't right, fix it. Pick it up. Find out what. This is where the source is. The source is this book. This book got the source is the source. The book, the Bible is the source. So I'm gonna read it myself. Once you do that, Once you do that, I guarantee that's refilling this cup. Once you do that, you realize, no, once you do that, God will come in and show you. Say, yeah, that's right. That's right. You know, it's him talking in your ear. Yeah, that's right. This is what that's how it, yeah. And if you accept that, it's that mental challenge again. If you accept that, you begin to grow. If you shut that down, you stay where you are. At number 2, underneath the person that needs help. Or, you know what I'm saying? So, really, so then you have to ask who needs help. Because they don't need help anymore. And see, this is where the devil operates at. He operates in that. He starts with that step 1, that step 1 right there. He says, okay, this person think they really know what they're talking about. So, what do you continue to get? You continue to get more of that type of stuff, more of that type of silliness, more of that type of you think you know what you're talking about, add it in your life, and it just keeps piling up. And then you get on social media and open your mouth. And what that does is, that shows your level 2-ness. It shows that you need mental help. And it's not, if you look at it, trying to look at it from a doctor's point of view, and I'm being serious. If you look at it from a doctor's point of view, for them to diagnose if you need mental help or not, just go back to the basics. Go back to your first ticket and look and see where you failed at, where you went wrong at. Simple as that. I don't have to be no doctor to be able to tell you something that you got a problem. It's simple as that. Just by starting by that. It stems from that. Simple as that. And that's how I operate everything on simplicity. I don't like difficult. I look at words. That word mean this. I look, okay, this means that. And it's a way of thinking, man. I mean, that's how I think. You can give me a sentence, and I can break it down and tell you what that whole sentence means just based on the words. The words are important. Words are powerful, man. That's God. God gave us a word. That was the first. You read the Bible, you know what I'm saying? The word was with God, you know? So words are important. My ex-wife told me that. You know what I'm saying? She said, these are important. Words are important. Words are powerful. So I started looking at them, man, words are powerful, ain't they? They gotta be, because if God put the word, and yes, you're talking about Jesus, but still yet it's words. The word is still that word. See? So that's where we came. Well, that's Jesus he's talking about, and shut it down. No. That's not just that. Listen what he's saying. The word. That means that makes the word important. What is word? Words. Word. Same thing. It makes it important. It's not spelled different. It's the same thing. So you look at that. That one word means, okay, words are important. So, okay, so if God sees words important, then maybe I should too. So why are words important? Because that's how he talks to us in words. Man, use your brain, man. I mean, it's simple, just simple. And see, we make it difficult by trying to put up walls. No, that's not what that means, because I know I'm number 2, but I'm supposed to be number 1, and I know what I'm talking about. So I got this degree, and I got this, and I got that, and you're a dope addict, and you listen to that. That's where the problem is, because 9 times out of 10, that dope addict done sat around and thought about stuff. I'm thinking, oh, these words, I'm analyzing everything. Look, wow, I see, look at this, look at that. Wow, God, you showed me this. God showed me that. Yeah, God showed me that while I was high. You know what I'm saying? There's no rules. We done put rules on this thing to make barriers. We done built a wall up. And now we're looking at the people that's at a higher standard, should be placed at a higher standard than we think we are, just because we done did this and we done did that, and we got this degree and we got that degree. You know what I'm saying? But my lifeline ain't here. My lifeline is God. God is feeding me. So that's what I have to go on, and that's what I teach off of. I teach off that platform that God teaching me. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to build up people. I want to build up intelligent people. I want to build up smart people. I want to build up people to think and don't let people think for them. You know what I'm saying? Because when you let somebody think for you, you taking on their DNA. You taking on their problems and everything. By taking them, if people work what goes on in their life, they teach by that. They teach by what goes on in their life. So if they got a problem that they don't deal with, they teach off of that platform and they hide that problem, and you don't get that. But you get this part. You get that part, but you don't get the real deal. Me, you starting with me on the bottom. You getting all of mine, because I'm going to tell you what, hey, look, this is what I do. I did this, I did that. Then when I teach off of that platform to try to lift you up, just get you the same thing I got, because it's working in my life. It's building me up. And it's what God is telling me to do this and showing me and everything. So I'm teaching from that platform. You see what I'm saying? I don't teach off no hierarchy and then teach my way down and look down on people. I'm down here with everybody else. So I'm working out. We're going to work our way up together. You know what I'm saying? We're going to build this thing. We're going to be new. We're going to be unique. We're going to be peculiar. We're going to look different than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? We're going to come up out of this thing. We're going to be different than anybody else. And people going to look and say, wow, man, what they doing? I want some of that. I want to get rid of what I got and get some of that. Yes, this is what you're supposed to. This is how this emptied my cup and started all over. There's too many rules in that thing, man. I couldn't. And this is what I was getting to. The fruit is what is the important part. And then see, this is how things work. Just simple on their own. You see what I'm saying? You think you got to do this chemistry and all this. God is my chemist. He's the master chemist. So you think you got to have all this and try to, that's not going to work out that way. That's not going to look. He shouldn't be able to do that. He shouldn't be able to heal people because he's a dope addict. He used to be on dope. He shouldn't be able to prophesy because he was on dope. You know what I'm saying? Your rules say I shouldn't do that, but I'm not following your rules. I'm following God's rules. God is the one that's implementing this thing. He ain't making no mistakes, so I'm following him. So if I speak in tongues and get a manifestation from it, then everybody should be able to speak in tongues and get a manifestation from it. Correct? Not by what the rules say. The rules say we shouldn't do it because that's not what that means. Let's take this and break this down and see what it says. Okay, yeah. But how many other scriptures in there to talk about tongues? Yeah, you showed me one. Then how many other scriptures in there talk about people being gay? You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Have
Take a photo of words you want to understand.
How many other scriptures in there? You know what I'm saying? That talk about this thing. Just one, and you just gonna focus on that one. What did it say before that and after that? Okay, we're gonna. Okay, so think. Okay, we're gonna focus on this. Let's focus on this. So we'll focus on something that's talking about somebody because this lift up. We're supposed to be bringing people up, aren't we? Or are we sending people to hell? Are we? Oh, it's hell for people? Whoa, I didn't know that. I thought the Bible said hell was made for Satan. It wasn't made for man. Oh, I'm sorry, preacher. I thought you read it. I didn't know I was the only one seeing that. Why did I see it? Because I emptied my cup and started all over. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because that's not going to hell ain't love. Common sense. If God is love, then a gay person going to hell or bashing a gay person, is that love? That's not love. So if you're not teaching on the basis of love, then who's teaching you teaching it on basing on who's teaching you basing it on? Now, simple as this. They'll say it's God's, okay? But God is simple as this. God is love. So you still teaching on you still teaching God's word? Are you sure? Is that love? Then you have to break it down for them, okay? And what they'll do. This is how people do. You say, okay. And I'm keeping this platform this way because God gave me I've been He said go and this is what I'm teaching on. I'm on this platform right here. I'm not gonna change it up. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because this is how I do. This is what I do. This is just like this, and this is where I'm comfortable at doing this. So that's why I'm doing it like this. If I'm offending anybody, I'm sorry, but this is my platform. This is where I'm comfortable at. This is it, and this is what you're gonna. This is part of what you're gonna get because I got my platform is huge. I go on a whole nother level with this thing. But that ain't what this is about. This is on this level. This is on the lift up level. This ain't showing my people what's going on out there. But anyway, this that lift up thing. Okay, so anyway, so if you get this is what people do. They'll do this. You say, okay, God is love. Okay, then you ask them a question about, okay, well if God is love, then how does this fit in with that? Is this love? No, it ain't love. Well, where you get that? How you get that being love? No. Just answer the question. Maybe most times it's like, is this love? You ask them, you show them, say, okay, well, is this when you go to them and tell them to go into hell? If you're going to hell, is that love? They won't answer that question. Why not? Because they know it's not love, and so what they do, they shuffle around it. That's where simple. It's wrong. Your thinking is wrong. But you can't convince them that because their hierarchy is right to them. They want to be up here. God created us equal. All of us equal. We all on the same line. Ain't nobody higher than the next person. We all put our pants on one leg at a time. Nobody's higher than the next. Nobody's higher than the next. I don't care what you got up here. You ain't no higher than the next one. You ain't no higher than me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. You ain't no higher than the man that sleeps out there on the street. We all on the same level. And that's where, that's what the devil did. And that shows you right there with that question. Okay, so who's teaching? Are you teaching? Your lifestyle shows who you following. How you treat people shows who you following. You know what I mean? Yes, simple as that. It shows who your leader is, because you're going to act like your leader. If you putting yourself over somebody else, or you're trying to get up somebody else's standard, you following him. You ain't following my daddy. You following that man, your daddy. That thing, your daddy. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't cool right now till you get on this side. You know what I'm saying? We don't get down. My people don't get down with your people. You know what I'm saying? We like the people be shooting up there in the mountains back and forth from each other. You ain't on my team. You know what I'm saying? You ain't banging with us. You over there. You on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Well, however you want to put it. It's simple as that. It's either you is or you ain't. It ain't no in between. It ain't no third thing. But people try to make it be a third. Well, no. Simple. Show your intelligence. Show me where that's love. Show me what you got right there is love. What you talking about. God is love. That don't fit my daddy's description. Show me that you can make that fit my daddy's description. I'll go with that. You can't show me. Why? Because that ain't the definition of love. Bottom line, I don't care how it sounds. I don't care how many words you put in it. You're going to have to change the whole thing, man. You're going to have to say, that's not love, man. I don't want to hear it. It's not my daddy. That's him. That's your daddy. Bottom line. And that's how we get down. That's how it is. Simple as that. Use your head, y'all. That's what we went to school for, man. We was taught words. And I don't even read it. Man, I'm just using the simple stuff. I ain't looking no dictionary. I don't have to. It's simple words. You know what I'm saying? He didn't make it difficult. You know what I'm saying? God didn't use a thesaurus, one of the thesaurus, or whatever you want to call it. He didn't use one of them when he wrote this thing. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. That's why God is love. That's all you need to start with. So love should be the first thing you put in this cup. Love. Look it up. See what love means. Dump that in here. That's the first thing. Start reading. Then start reading. With love being the basis on everything you read. If you come to a question, or you've come up in this, I'm talking in the beginning. If you come up with something in it, go back and ask yourself, now is this love? Look up the word love and see if it fits. And if you can't find it for yourself, ask somebody. It don't hurt to ask. Because what you are doing is you are getting to place number one. Or you getting to a higher level with God. One level with God is 1,000 levels compared to man's levels. So one step up, and that's just my saying. But that's how it feels. And that's how I feel. You know what I mean? It changes the dynamics of everything. Put love in the cup, start with that. You know what I mean? That's going to be your challenge. Don't take nothing from it. Just add to it. You see, I dumped out all the old stuff, though. You know what I'm saying? I emptied that was religion I poured out of this cup. You know what I'm saying? That was all the rules and stuff that I poured out of this cup. That's why I did that. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all might not have to do that. But I chose to do that and start, because I wanted my cup to be empty. And I want to start over fresh. I want to make sure I was right. That's how you make sure you're right. You know what I'm saying? I want to dump out all that mess and make sure I'm right about what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I was gonna have to be willing to accept God in the fullness. I couldn't accept God in no half full cup. You know what I mean? That's not how I'm getting down. I'm starting over. I'm gonna learn this thing from the bottom up and let God teach me. And He's teaching me. This is right. That ain't right. Throw that away. This feels right. That ain't right. Throw that away. Then you don't have to go by that. He starts telling you, this is right. That ain't right. Then after a while, you like, listen. He like, look at my son go. Look at him go. Yeah, boy, I'm proud of you, son. That's what, and then that's not even all of it. But we're not going there. We're not getting there. We just on the being proud, putting the pieces together right, like your daddy wanted you to do when you was trying to put them together for him instead of messing them up and instead of getting mad. Here's one of them rules. One of the rules that we was brought up under that should turn on a light and with a question mark in it, and say, what is there anything else in here that I need to be, that I've been held bondage under? You know what I'm saying? Where I can't grow. I can't grow because of hierarchy. Hierarchy got his foot on me because he's just like his daddy. You know what I mean? Yeah, here's one of the rules, man. God is freedom, man. This is John 4 in the New NIV 28, verse 28. John 4:28. Then leaving her water jar, the woman went back to the town and said to the people. The woman went back to the town and said to the people. That's called something in it. The woman went back to town and said to the people, come see a man who told me everything I ever did. They came out of the town and made their way toward him. Simple as that. What did she do? Oh, I'm looking the wrong way. What did she do? She's a preach. She went and preached the gospel. She preached about Jesus, man. She evangelized. Women can't do that, can they? It didn't say she wasn't supposed to, did it? So what does that mean? Simple. Remember, don't make it difficult. It's simple. Because then if we're going to make it difficult, I can help you make it difficult. I will start asking you a bunch of questions. I will ask you about this right here. We would dig into this. Okay, then why she leaving? Why the Bible didn't say this? And then the only answer you could tell me is, I don't know, they just didn't put it in there. So that means what? If he didn't put it in there, the reason why the woman shouldn't preach, if he didn't put that in there, then that means what? Because we talking God, and my God ain't in a box, which means he didn't make a mistake when this was written, right? Okay, so if you think he did, then you might as well throw the whole thing away. And you got to start over for real. Then your preaching is, or whatever you teaching is completely wrong then. Because if it's based on one, oh, he left that out. Okay, then what are you talking about then? Because your whole thing is tainted. If you know he left something out and you preaching on it anyway, that means what you talking about means it makes this whole thing untrue. And you preaching anyway? That who's your daddy? See, it still it don't change nothing. It still stay the same. You know what I'm saying? Could this be the Messiah? That's good news, isn't it? That means that's the gospel, right? That means she was evangelizing, don't it? So why come women can't do it then? Throw that rule out.